Hello and welcome to the next episode of this disaster series, which has become my life and this Lego display. Now, we are making progress. So all these bits and pieces over the last couple of episodes as such have been done. So the horror stuff is ready to be tidied up. The Star Wars section is in rough. Don't forget, it's all got to get tiled. It's all got to be done. The Ninjago section is now back to where it needs to be. The Marvel and superhero display, that is basically ready for bits and pieces, and this is the next port of call. Now, if you're wondering why it is such a mess, go all the way back to episode number 1. The floor gave up. I had to stack all the tables on top of each other and everything got smashed, and it was an absolute nightmare. But today it's all about Medeval. Yes, we are finally sticking to a Legoland theme that I've been wanting to do for a long time, didn't know how to do it, and now I can. So what needs to be put in today is basically everything else that you see here. So we've got the Rivendell that needs to be in. I think I've got good. I'm going to start with the Rivendell set and go from there. We're going to try and leave space for the new Viking set, the new pirate set, the pirate giveaway stuff. I've got the pirate boat in there. We've got the He-Man, so we need to leave space for Snake Mountain, and there is one or two other little bits and pieces that we can add in. But this is all going to be water for our Rivendell Rapids ride that we're going to be adding in, and then we're going to push over into the Jurassic Park section, move all of those bits and pieces ready for when I get all of those, and then the very, very last thing will be to tidy up that table, and then everything is where it needs to be. It then just needs to be actually rebuilt and tidied up. So stick around, because obviously something's going to get smashed, and it's more than likely going to be the Rivendell set. So we'll crack on and we'll see exactly what happens. Right, all jokes aside, this is the hardest bit of the room. I cannot reach the back. Now, to get to the back, I need to climb on the front, or I need to climb up this way and then go that way. That's why this has been left till last. That I didn't actually know what to put here. That's probably another reason why. But we're going to start off with how the water is going to get fed. Now, going all the way back to a couple of episodes ago with the Marvel superhero display, we have left space here for the new tower and all the bits and pieces around it. Now, this has actually been filmed all over the same weekend, so I still haven't had your feedback if the Doctor Strange set works there, and I know you're weeks ahead of that now, so I'm a couple of weeks ahead of everybody, because that's how I have to sort of bulk film everything on certain days. I'm so busy. But this gap here, where you've got the grey onto the wood, that is going to be water. So I'm going to throw a load of tiles onto that, and then we're going to come down from there. So the first thing we need to do is I'm going to put the Rivendell set right at the very, very back, which is going to look fantastic, but it's also going to be a nightmare, because I need to climb on that table, push everything over, grab the Winnie the Pooh, grab the Flintstones, grab the A-frame, and then basically start putting it all back in neat and tidy. So yeah, let's give that a go. This is how difficult it is. I've got to climb up onto this table without falling off and dropping onto everything, and then I need to reach over and pull out all of these bits and pieces, which I then am going to have to put somewhere else. So I'm hoping that I don't have to really move the Rivendell set. That is not good. I cannot grab that piece because oh no, that's just fallen down. That's basically gone into the abyss of never to be seen again, as has whatever that bit was as well. So yeah, it's really not going well. Not started off well. So I need to do the same thing to the Winnie the Pooh without losing any of the minifigures, because that would be an absolute disaster if they get lost. So I'm hoping now what I can do is just go into that corner, pick it up and put it in there from basically where I am. I'm feeling a little bit lazy, to be honest, so it's just that I've got to be so careful, because I know that if I get this wrong, it is all going to get annihilated, and I am not balancing fantastically well, let's be honest. This series has basically turned into me climbing over tables for your own enjoyment. I'm going to keep the Rivendell as one big set. I think that's the best thing to do. I just need to move one or two things, and then we can crack on. Right, I need 2 hands for the first bit, but you are back in action. Now, what is going to look really nice, it's just going to be leaves on leaves on leaves on leaves. So I think that should look very, very smart, but I know what's going to be the problem. I am going to lose, not a massive amount of space, which is okay, just behind here. So we've got to get that basically lined up. Now, if you didn't know, there's a pin. That pin needs to go in somewhere, and we just ram it in basically hope for the best. Or what you do is you smash your roof off because you're a moron, and then assuming that goes in there, just a quick bodge repair, I think that must go like that. Damage the tree as well. There we go, never happened. Right, moving on, good. Right, so that pin is in, that bottom in top is lined up. So that is one unit now, and that is pushed now without breaking it. I think that's as far over as I can get it, I'm assuming. I can't see it, but I think you guys can. That is touching that gap. If it's not, it will be by the time I finish. Now, if we've got to decide if I'm bringing this in or keeping it as is. I know it's all going to stay on one level, but this thing is absolutely massive. Absolutely massive. Now, it's been a long time since I've displayed it together as one piece. It does look very effective as one piece. Now we have this, and that is the next thing that we need to add. And because I'm stupid, I am really stupid, I'm going to try and pick it up with you in my hand. So how well is this going to... this deserves to be broken now, because I am being silly. But you are coming along for the ride, so there we go. That is a proper POV of this. So that is the nice detail that is included within that, and that is all the trees and everything that are there. And now we've got the water. Now, it is angled quite a lot, so it does kick in. So we are really pulling away from the table. So to fill in just with regards, I reckon, as an Easter egg, I am going to put, I've ripped that roof off now as well. I'm going to try and put the Winnie the Pooh with the Winnie the Pooh minifigures as an Easter egg to the back. Because I think, there we go. I think that just looks nice with the trees, and you've got just the side of the building. So it's there. I'm going to keep it there. If you've watched this, you know. And then if you're new to the channel, in a while, it'll be interesting to see if people start thinking, I'm sure I recognise that. Now, the next thing, if I want to cover in this gap just here, is what I'm going to do with the rest of the trees. Now, I think what I might need to do is maybe move over to the Jurassic Park section, push that over ever so slightly, push the roller coaster over. That way I can actually line the table and it'll be okay. And just figure out exactly what's going on, because this is supposed to be a ride. Now, potentially, we can bring the water all the way up this way, and it could actually just go in front of that, and then it can come back and loop it round that way. Now, the A-frame cabin could slot in just behind that as well, with the trees. That's what I'm thinking of, because we've got all of this. But if we do that, all the colour of the trees are together. Now, the only other thing that I am thinking, oh, there's so much to this, is the waterfall. Where is the Monkey Kid? What was bad? I don't even know. There it is. So this Monkey Kid waterfall for a little bit of height, I just don't know if we can get this piece. I do like this set. As he picks it up again stupidly with one hand. I don't know if we can just get that bit at the back like that. Yeah, we can. And that's just linking into the water, so it just feeds the water. So this will all be water at the front of it. The Winnie the Pooh is just an Easter egg, but it's such a beautiful set, it really is. And also I can pull it out when I want to. I think I'll grab the minifigures from it and have them walking around maybe the Disney thing, but the actual Pooh house could just stay where it is. But hopefully that is actually coming through on the camera, and that is obviously all the Winnie the Pooh. So that gap there where that lower tree is, I think does work quite well. And then at least that gives us the opportunity. Then what have we got to play with? We've got to figure out what we're going to do with this. The cabin, I guess, could go in front of that. I don't know whether to have all of this leaves. It's going to be quite difficult to do. Oh, it's amazing how big that set is, to be honest. Really is. If you think, like, I'm tempted to get the Lions Night castle, that huge castle. The Viking set, the pirate set, and then we've got this boat as well, which is this oversized, huge thing. Now the only thing I'm thinking is the loop roller coaster I'm going to need to measure the length of, because I don't think it's anywhere near the length of that. So we can come this way as well, which I think would look really, really nice. So it'll be like an L shape. So we're basically going to make this look, this section needs to look as filthy as possible, because we have got two tables. I'm going to make it look nice and splendid. Right, let's move this over and see what we can do. That's what it looks like from that side, and instantly I've forgotten about the treehouse. Oh, does the treehouse go where the Winnie the Pooh thing is? I don't think it won't fit. It will be too far in front. It could go. That treehouse could go the other side of the waterfall at the back, just to hide those other bits and pieces, and then it's all your greenery together. And again, it's got water feeding underneath it. But I've now got to get that all the way over to that side without smashing it, and that has to come off first because everything else needs to push down. And again, I'm right by the disaster zone, which is the area that I try to avoid, but I stand over every single time. So in case you're wondering, foot, hands free, change shoe over, and get stuck. So yeah, I'm going to need a minute to figure this one out, and then we can get all of this moved over, and then we can just basically crack on and go from there. But from here, that area is going to look outstanding. Right, so I've moved some bits and pieces. I have just found the missing bit to that as well, so that's now complete. I didn't even realise that was over there, like I don't realise much of this stuff is. Now, if this does not work, because at the moment everything from here works fine. Winnie the Pooh's fine, surprisingly. I just don't know if this is going to look too treehouse-esque, if that makes sense. So if it does, that can go down in our unboxing shelf, and you'll see it downstairs with what has already moved for some of the Star Wars bits and pieces, because I think that is more of a display piece now. I love it, so I want to see it as much as possible, but I think that might work better down in the unboxing section if it doesn't work right. If I can't get the leaves covering the waterfall, because you can see what that looks like from the top, I think it's fine. And you've got a little bit of water. It's a really, really nice set. But I just don't think you would have a tree house in a medieval section. If you think what we're going for, it's going to be Vikings, knights, pirates, wizards. Wizards? Magic? Is it wizards? Lord of the Rings? Wizards? Elves? What are they? Somebody let me know. It's nothing like Harry Potter, is it? So I can't put that over. No, that won't work. My knowledge, I know, it's outstanding. Obviously going by the colour, the old fishing store works because it's just the same green, same brown, same everything. So that could work well. The leaves I think work fine. It's just seeing if that will work. If not, maybe I could put the pirate bit at the back. I'm saying all of this, I'm still stood here. So let me move some bits and pieces, get that in first. I'll move this roller coaster over like I've just said, that bit over there. And then if it doesn't work, it gets moved and relocated. I've not moved a single thing yet. 10 points if you know what this is now supposed to be. Any idea what that thing there with its missing head, arms? I don't even know where those pieces gone. There's a piece on top of my wardrobe. So guess where that just fell down the loft ladders too. Right, we'll be playing 50-piece pickup as we move all of this. I will now get this moved, and I will get that thing repaired. Right, I have repaired him fully with picking up all the other pieces up on the steps. Now I've moved something. This, I personally think that it looks fantastic, and it's going to stay like this. So this is what that looks like. The coaster's moved. The Jurassic Park gates have come down. We've created a little bit up at the front here. So we'll have basically like a viewing area for the roller coaster. The gates can then obviously open up, and then from there we can go into all of the bits and pieces that will be all the stuff that I need to purchase for the Jurassic Park bit. So that is more than enough space for that. The gates can go back that way across the front of the table more if you want more space in front of it. But I think this bit here would be a very important section for little bits and pieces. So potentially what we could do right in front of that's where we could add in all of the smaller bits and pieces that I've got, like the popcorn stand and just little bits and bobs, where it's just by the coaster before we go into its own land. That land will then loop round. You get a nice view of the roller coaster shooting round no matter where you are in that land, and it just goes all around the outside of the table and it comes back. Obviously, the only other thing is the massive dinosaur could be stood out the front and it's escaped. And that's how what we could do. We could have the tail through the door, so we could have that stood up and it could be trying to eat somebody on the actual roller coaster. So it could just be like a big animatronic of that. I'm not too sure if the dino would fit inside the coaster. That is obviously all going to happen in a different video. But if I can get that dinosaur up, I don't want to move it at the moment because I've got to move all the other bits and pieces. And if I move the other bits and pieces and not that dinosaur, I will cry more than what I already just have. But I think that works really nicely with regards to bits and pieces. And it's got a park map at the back, so I can bring that further forward so you can see where you're at. So this will be like our little information kiosk. We can just have some nice bits and pieces here. And obviously they're all the minifigures from this set. They are going to be where all the other Jurassic Park bits and pieces go. And then that is its own land. So I think that will work really, really nicely actually there. Let us know what you think with regards to being able to see the gate. I've always wanted to see the gates properly no matter where it is I stand. So I think stood here, and you've got all the other bigger bits and pieces, you'll be able to see them from there. And then if you come with me very delicately underneath this table, because I can't be bothered to walk around it, so I'm going to crawl underneath it and have a look at this disgusting state of all of that. It's getting there, it's getting there. Now from here, that's what that looks like. So I think that does look okay. I could angle it a little bit more if need be, but I think that could work, because I could kick the back end out a little bit more and just have that just over ever so slightly. So from this side, you're almost at the angle of the table you're coming through. It's over a little bit that way, but still, I think that does look nice. And then gates will be open, all the other bits and pieces behind it. That's what I've wanted for a long, long time. I think those two side by side work well. And what I've done is I've pushed it to that table. So we've got 2 full tables now for our Medeval display. And we've got a good half a table here of, well, whatever that is going to be. Right, this was the next thing, wasn't it? So we were going to talk about getting this in. Now this is going to be our Rivendell Rapids. This is going to be a long-term project, this one, because this is where we're going to need a lot of sets. So basically everything on this side is going to be added to slowly, because of needing to get bits and pieces. Now it is in, but I'm not sure. Bearing in mind this is supposed to be a theme park ride that we're designing the theming for, I think it's just a little bit big and bulky. We lose too much of the table at the back, as you can see. It's the same height as the back end of that roller coaster. I just don't know, the A-frame might look better there with all the trees and stuff in front of it. Let's have a look. So, because the A-frame I think would work, because it's in the woods, it's that kind of thing. So if I was to push that further back, there you go, that's as far back as that can go. And then we've got just like random bits, because you could have the water going behind those trees, don't forget. So you could have the water split up on those, and then we've got all of this as well that we can do something with. I think these two can actually connect together, so if we wanted to, we could just have that together, wrapped around with the water around, and we put the tree somewhere else. Let us know what you think on that. That, or maybe put the fishing stall further back. The A-frame might just stick to the side. The A-frame we can do something else with, because that Anton's bait shop is, let's be honest, a perfect thing for a actual main queue line to the Rivendell Rapids ride, because it's boats, it's whatever, and it's going to be a, well, canoe ride. So that's where they can park up at. So it does need easy access, but maybe the access to the queue line could be right at the very, very back, and we can just feed the path through. That, or if this is all just going to be theming, we could just throw one of these to the back and we can see what we could do with that. But I'm not, again, I don't know. Other options, Castle Grayskull. It's a shame that we can't, it won't fit in forward facing like that. I mean, it will fit in forward facing like that, but again, we lose a huge amount of space at the back. But that would touch the back for height, and we only lose a smidgen. So that's something else to consider. I don't know whether to have the whole back as trees and everything, so it looks visually, it does look very, very impressive. And then we have another row, because the the new, I guess the new pirate ship and the new Viking bit can just go in a long line, so that could just be the next strip. And then we have a third strip and it just zigzags around everything. And it's got to have all the footpath there, and it's got to have all the water there as well. Because I mean, if that was pushed back and then that went in front of it and I got some more trees and things, you can see exactly what the idea is behind that. But I just don't know if that just needs to come out and maybe be on the front row or be closer to the castle. Because if I am going to get the big castle, that big castle potentially is going to go there, or it can come over this way. There's some quite big sets for this, and they all need to go in one place. And the problem is they all need to go away from this roof, and there isn't enough space when it all comes away from this roof. So some things might have to be hidden, which I think this might have to be sacrificed, because this is the least tallest, and by a long way as well, than anything else. So we've got a deserted island. We can have the new pirate ship and the new Viking bit together. Maybe it goes Viking, pirate, into the pirate, wraps round. We've got the Castle Greyskull as a bit of an Easter egg. We can't make the Castle Greyskull work. We do have space for the horror section, but like a castle medieval land is the main goal, and I might have to pull one or two bits and pieces out. So I like all of that so far. I don't know what you guys and girls think. So that I think works. It just needs to flow. I don't think the Castle Greyskull's doing it for me. So the plan for the ride is this. Imagine that on water. That is going to be a beautiful photo opportunity. I just need to get a load of canoes and come round. So maybe that and that does go quite close side by side. Just need to fill in that back bit. What's going to get sacrificed? Do we have the front of the boat sticking out so you can get some nice photos from the front of the boat? Or do we have this side on bit with some more leaves sticking out? But I think it's going to have to be one of those two. I think that in there works. I think that'll work all right. I just need to find, obviously, the piece that is missing, which is there, but obviously it's a deserted island, so that's okay. Now, if we were to slot that bit tight into here like so, we can then just have all of this in here, so we can have something else in there. What that will be, I don't know. Maybe the other part of the pirate. Now, there's giveaways and things, isn't there? Isn't there? That giveaway purchased video that I did with the new set that I put somewhere. Maybe that was, oh, was that the thing I smashed when I unboxed the Batman? I've just done that. Oh, mummy. Yeah, so, oh no, it's there. There it is, directly in front of me. So that, the cove. There we go, magic. So that'll look all right there. Or maybe just fill in the gaps. It could go bit like that, so we can still get a load of tiles in. It's just adding pieces in. So maybe the treasure chest cove could work there, or we pull that out and it goes somewhere else. But that's obviously quite a big space there. So if we were to push that further back, we could then have that something like that or like that. This is what I need to do live, really. I'll keep messing around with it, but I do want these two quite close together. I think they look quite nice like that, because you're going into something. It almost needs to be maybe further forward, but I can't because this piece is attached to the Rivendell set. But there is another smaller set as well, as a giveaway purchase, which could potentially work, or I just find something else that'll go in that gap. Right, I think I'm kind of getting the idea of this now. So what I'm probably going to end up doing, which does make sense, is that if it's going to be a Rivendell Rapids and it's going to tell a story, you go from Rivendell to a pirate theme into the Viking into the castle. I might as well keep all that stuff together. So if I put the first pirate bit in the corner, the second one matches up nicely. It actually creates a path. Well, I say a path, it could be a 50-50 split, either a path or a bit of water round, which then this will have to go into here just to cut that gap off. So that works there absolutely fine. Obviously we can angle that, we can do whatever we want with that, but that then means that this will get really nice photos and it will go through, and then we can just create where the water goes, because what we are wanting to do, water feeds in, rock face on this bit with a little bit of water coming in, and then there's going to be a path that will snake through to the next section, which is where this stuff is, and there's also going to be a ride as well. So this is all ride, And then maybe what we can do is pirate, Viking, big castle. Then that leaves a gap in the front for a walkway. And the walkway is where the other castle is, which might be Snake Mountain and Castle Greyskull. And maybe the entrance to the queue line. So we have 4 32 by 32 base plates in front of each other. I would have just put the base plates down, but nothing is square. This is the whole, well, you can see the Rivendell kicks off. That's nothing, that's just random shapes, that's random shapes. The only thing that I've got as square is that. So with regards to base plate space, if we are leaving, say 6 studs, maybe for this all the way around, that's what we're going to have to leave. There's plenty of studs there. So how many is that? That's 6 or 8. That's 8. So if we go from that, this is getting more technical now. We go from that and push that back. Back. Oh, come on. Stuff and stuff all stuck in the way. There's a cannon there. There you go, check that out. Right, there. So that is our boat gap if we are going to go from here. I would imagine you guys and girls want to go past the Rivendell bit as a photo opportunity, I would guess. So that if that's our boat's width, and then I need another thing that is 8. 8, anything that is 8. Anything at all is an all 8. Yes, it is. So put that there, and then that'll go there, which means the next building will have to go at an angle, which doesn't help anybody. But at least what we can then do is we can grab one of my many spare base plates I have lying around. There's one just here. So again, smooth. That is there. You can see now. So there's 1 base plate, 2 base plate, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think. Should I get these base plates down and just see? If I just keep moving stuff, eventually it will just end up on the floor and I'll forget about it. So it's all right. So we've got a couple more base plates there. So again, if we're, well, the river's only going to there, I guess. So if it's stepped like that and the water's coming around, maybe it's just the back. Maybe we just have the back as the ride and it just loops. It just loops round on itself and comes back. It doesn't have to take up the whole table, does it? And then we can have, what have we got here? Let's go by the front of the table and the back at the same time. So that's perfect. So that is front of the table. That's 2 base plates there. So something. Can't put a base plate there. That is looking tight for a base plate over there. I don't think that is going to be 32 studs. Let's be quite honest about everything. But because if we're going to have these are overhanging, which they are at the moment, but they won't be because that is a base plate and a half for the new modular. So we will be flush to that. That's a 32. Why don't we just put that there? Oh, we have. There you go. Look, exactly 32 studs. So that we can fit another something there and another something there. So that's okay. And then we're coming down. What else have I got? Loads of them here. Look, loads of them. So then, yeah, there's a grubby looking one. Again, that's off. Ah, that's annoying. Can I get that back? Watch this go smash. Oh, I'm so close. I'm pinned as well. That's really annoying. I'm literally off by a single stud. That will be bodged, if not, it'll just be cut. Ow. And then that will go there. So we have got 4, 5, 6 base plates of stuff in front of what potentially could be the ride. So that's not too bad. That is not too bad. We've got plenty of space. That's obviously meaning the treehouse isn't there. That treehouse can just disappear and go. The Castle Grayskull will go in. The A-frame, don't know now. That A-frame might just have to go somewhere else. That could potentially work, but I just don't know if it fits with that theming, because I think that theming looks just nice as it is. If that is the entrance to the ride would start there maybe. This could be, oh, the ride's going behind it. That'll have to go to the front, won't it? This is where it's getting a little bit tricky now, because I don't have those sets. But I think we've got a basic understanding of what I am trying to achieve and being an idiot about it at the same time. So if we say the ride / path comes to here, and then we have building gap or something like that, where we'll have bait shop, space, castle, Snake Mountain, big castle. That would all fit, because that row would be, yeah, so we can get it all on. So we can get it all on that table. It just depends on if we actually think we need to get it all on that table. The Viking thing, I think, will look very, very smart. I think the castle would look really, really smart. Do I need the pirate set when I've got that one there? That could just be our pirate bit, even though the other pirate one is exactly from Legoland Billund. So obviously that is something to consider. And that can just carry on here. I'm assuming, if anybody... I was about to say, I'm assuming it's only 2 base plates, but I don't think it is. I think it's really long. So that might have to kick in as an L. Might be a problem of we just add it as we go. Why don't we just do that? So I think that is going to be that for this, because I think I've waffled on far too much. So I think we get the understanding of that bit. Let's see if we can get the Grayskull in. Right, I think that works there, because if we can have Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain side by side, and we could still potentially have it coming through on itself as the ride anyway. So we could just have it as almost like a big figure of 8, which goes from that end to that end. And then these buildings in front would be the rest of the theme park, people walking through. Yeah, so it's one big display that... So that's going to be too big, but I think, again, we'll worry about that. So things to come, it'll be the Snake Mountain to go beside that. I think that'll look smart. Potentially then we could have the castle, the big Lions Night, the big yellow box, that could go here. And then that could be a big shop. That could have I want a roller coaster track around that. So that would look nice. Maybe we have Castle Grayskull with it being a castle, Snake Mountain, and the other castle non-water related, and that's where all the path is, and that's with the roller coaster track going around, so that would make sense. So that's his other theming within that land. And then we try and get in the pirate and the Viking on the other 6 base plates that are available for stuff. Let's know that'll work. I think my brain's about to explode. My throat hurts. I need a drink, and I desperately need something to eat, because it's got, I don't know where the day's gone, to be honest. It's been a long day. So we have Jurassic Park is ready to actually buy stuff and sort out. That coaster's in the right place. This is looking, I think, half decent. That is just going to decide where that actually ends up going. Again, that could be angled in. There's enough space here, hopefully, for Snake Mountain that can just go straight into that gap. And then we've got a little bit of a walkway for that. This is going to be all for the loop roller coaster, and then depending on how long the loop roller coaster is, the A-frame cabin could potentially just go in there somewhere. The A-frame cabin I don't think will fit in the superhero section, I don't think, which is a little bit of a shame. No, I don't think it will. So that needs to move, so I'm going to take that down and put that on display in the unboxing area. That is my drink that I've got on the go. That is calling my name. So the Star Wars stuff is there or thereabouts. So that just needs tiled. Got to figure out what we're going to do with the spaceships. And the haunted house stuff all needs to be sorted. So there's loads and loads and loads to actually do with regards to tiling. So we are getting close to that point. And like I said, we want all of this to be tiled. But where this green thing is now, that is all ready for the new building. And when that goes up, I think that's going to look really, really smart in front of there. So if we can get the rest of the room looking as photogenic as that, I think it'd be quite nice. But I think I'm going to wrap this video up, start editing the files together, and start building this massive thing. And then we'll see how long that's going to take me. Where I'm going to build this now, I have absolutely no idea. The other thing, I'll do that on a different video. All of these smaller bits and pieces, I think will go in front of the roller coaster. So we can have them right in front, all neat and tidy up in there, so I can tidy all of this up. But I could tidy it up, but I can't really be bothered. Hang on. Basically like that. So we've got all the other little bits and pieces, all the smaller bits, all in the ticket booths and some of the smaller rides, all within that area. Obviously I've just thrown it into that corner, so I now need to get a box to put those different bits and pieces in, strip it down, repair some bits and pieces. But I think now we are ready. I think it's obviously there's still a lot of work to do, but you can see how this now flows all the way through. We can bring that through onto that table, so that line is our divide. Starts off with the next bit with the big roller coaster by Jurassic Park with all the little bits and pieces out the front. That obviously needs to disappear. I have just put the N1 on that top bit as well. I've just found all of the Disney minifigures in there, so I just need to find basically all the stuff that we've dropped over the last 5-6 weeks. I say we. Me over on the floor, and then obviously we've got the space stuff and the horror stuff to sort out in that far corner, so that's okay. And then we can come over that way a little bit, and then I can just stack some bits and pieces up on top. But I think, guys, it's taken a while, but that was successful-ish enough. There's loads and loads of bits and pieces to get through. I just need to clear this table off and then probably crack on with that shadow box, or have a cry, one or the other. And the other thing is, within that area we will end up having all these Lego City vehicles as well. I think we'll probably have all of them dotted around. Now I did notice when I was editing one of the videos together, the thing that I broke was the front end of that truck when I got the shadow box off. So that should have the small little juggernaut attached to it somewhere, so I do need to find that. That is one of the 2 trucks that we've got, because the space truck is over there. That'd be for a completely different video. So I'm now going to tidy all of this up off camera, stack all the minifigures on top of each other somewhere. But let us know, feedback below, how you think that is starting to look. Obviously the front of this could just be a dumping ground for now, because like I said, this bit and this bit, there's no sets going here yet because I haven't got them. We know what's going to go there, but they're not here. Focus point is this massive tower. When the tower's in, everything else in front of it that can then be built up. And obviously this is going in the far corner. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. Hopefully I've not wasted your time. Let us know what you think. It's come a long way since the disaster of what was the first episode, 2, 3, 4, and all of that kind of thing, when the tables had to get stacked on top of each other, carpet had to be cut, we had to put new wood back on the floor, and now we've completely changed the layout of everything. It's probably going to be the cleanest it's ever going to look, and then when all of the footpaths and everything are in, I think it's going to work quite nicely. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Ta-da.